Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of my series about Power BI. Today we're going to be discussing the homepage of the Power BI service, how to open a report that's been shared with you or some sample reports, and also what are the main parts of a report. I have opened up here Power BI and I'm on the home page. There's a navigation pane on the left side and a few other buttons here at the top right. If we start with the left one, with the first tab here, Home, Homepage has different sections here, which are basically the sections here on the left. Favorites and recent work exactly just like Excel and Word. Then we have a few options here, create and data sets, which are mainly used for developers. We then have apps here, and with apps, you can, for example, install a few sample apps like the sales and marketing one. There's the Learn section here that would enable you to access some of the training materials if you want to get started with creating reports. And what we discussed in a previous episode, there's sections here where you can see the reports that have been shared with you by others. And workspaces, which again would have my workspace where you have your own reports, or other workspaces where people have added their own reports. If you need to remind yourself more about shared with me and workspaces, please watch one of the previous episodes in the series. Here at the top there's a search bar, so here you can search by keywords among the reports you have in your collection. Then you'd have here notifications, and usually this you get notifications when you get updates to some of the apps or reports you use. Then there's the settings button here, which is mainly used, as I showed you before, here manage personal storage. You would see what type of license you have, and if you're a developer, you can access the admin portal or the gateway. There's also a download button here to download the various components of Power BI that we mentioned in the first episode of the series. There's the help button here with lots of documentation, the feedback button, and then the last one here is the profile button where you can see what type of license you have. We're now going to see how to install one of the sample reports or apps. For installing a report, we can go here to Get Data, then Samples, and we can see here a list of sample reports. If we click on Sales and Marketing Sample and then click on Connect, so started importing the reports, and we can see them here. They've been installed in my workspace. We have a dashboard, a report, and a data set. The same thing for apps. We can go get apps, and we can search here for the same type, sales and marketing, just to have something similar. Click here on it, get it now. You'd have to fill in here your details. And you can see now the app is installing. Yeah, let's wait for a second, it won't take long. And that's the app here, which would appear in the apps tab. And then if I go to my workspace, I can see the reports that I've installed. They're pretty much similar, so the sales and marketing report with the app, because it may be a bit different in terms of layout or colors, but pretty much the same, so we will use them as examples throughout the remainder of the series. If I open up the app here, I will find packaged in the app that there's a dashboard, and then a report here. And that's the same as, the dashboard and the report here. They're quite similar in nature. They maybe have a few differences in layout. If you need to remind yourself about dashboards and reports, you can watch one of the earlier episodes. So looking at the report here that I've opened, I can see it's got different pages, so I can use this to navigate between different pages. These are just like tabs in an Excel workbook. If I go here to the sentiment page, I can see here on my screen that I've got different visualizations, and then this is the title at the top. I also have here the filters pane, and this is something we're going to be discussing in the next episodes. If I'm going to click here on a visualizations, I will show you in the next episode how to filter, how to use the filters here. So I can expand or collapse this here. Other buttons that you have here at the top that would be useful, for example, are the view button, so you can make this full screen to see it better. I will press escape, so that's out of the full screen, and obviously other options here, fit to page, fit to width. You can also add comments here. So this would be comments. If you start and type in here, you can tag somebody in the comments and they can reply, but keep in mind this would be for the whole report. If you want to add comments on just one of the graphs here, select it and then go here to the three dots and say add a comment. And you can see this one's been highlighted, so the comments will only be for them. One important thing to note here is the top banner here, which if you expand it, it would show you who is the owner of the report. So if there's an issue with the report, you can contact them. And then when the data was last updated. Keep in mind that if this data comes from an ERP, for example, the time here would show when it was imported, ingested into Power BI. It won't actually show when it was exported from the ERP. For example, if you posted a journal half an hour ago and Power BI was updated 10 minutes ago, the time here would be 10 minutes ago. The other buttons I use here at the top are reset to default. This is usually used when, after I apply a series of filters here, I want to revert back to the initial view that the developer created. So I won't remember what filters were used there, or maybe there were no filters at all, so I would use reset to default. The other button I also use is refresh visuals. So this would be used, for example, if I had this screen open for a long time and then the data gets updated, was updated 10 minutes ago, and I want to see it in the visualizations, I would click here on refresh, and this would refresh all of them. The other button I use here is add to favorites. Yeah, if I really like this report, but I could also add it to favorites if I go one step back. If I hover here where I installed the app, I could click here on favorites. Or if I go in my workspace where I install the reports, I can also add here to favorites. And then here you can also see the button to share the report with somebody else. So if I was to add this to favorites, then this would show up here in my favorites. I hope you have enjoyed the episode, and stay tuned for the next one where I'm going to be showing you how to use filters in the report. Thank you for watching.